How the heck are everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. As you can see from your screen, today we are talking about Boreas, and Boreas is incredible. I believe he's got a claim to be the most versatile DPS hero in all of Watcher of Realms. He truly is the jack of all trades and the master of many trades, the ultimate Swiss Army knife. I could go on, but let's just get into it. In this video, we are going deep. I'm going to show him in not just Gear Aid 1, not just Gear Aid 2, but Gear Aid 3 as well. So there's going to be a lot of live gameplay footage. We are going to look into everything in this kit. Gearing and builds, best in slot artifacts, his talents, awakenings, a full skill breakdown. You've got yourselves a proper guide here, guys. Let's get into it and chat about Boreas.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Alrighty, friends, so much to discuss when it comes to Boreas over here, so let's get into it. I guess first thing, elephant in the room, how do you say his name? I've settled on Boreas. If you want to say Boreas, I will never judge you. I'm just going to say Boreas for the rest of the video, though. So, let's get straight into the way this guy looks. That's probably my biggest problem with the hero. Not because he doesn't look good. I think he looks amazing. This kind of regal, kingly figure made out of snowflakes, nice. But why is he an esotericist? Fine, if they want him to be an esotericist, that's okay. How is he not also in the North Throne? I mean, this is our Icy Boy faction. Put our Icy Boy King in there as well. As you'll see by the end of the video, he is indeed a king. This guy is so flippin' good. I thought he'd be good, then I played with him, and then I knew he was good, and then I played even more with him, and then I was certain he's amazing. He is just incredible, so let's break it all down. Always nice to start with the base stats, so let's take a peek. He's actually very easy to discuss base stats of because he has almost identical stats to common. So let's look here. 10k HP, 10.6. We've got 46-16 attack. You can see there his cost is 19. He's got an attack interval of 2.6 seconds, typical rage regen auto of 14. Those are kind of the basics there. If we head over to Comet, try to internalize those numbers. So this is going to be a direct kind of comparison, right? Another bursty with huge AoE potential, legendary esotericist mage. They really do. They also pair beautifully in Gear Aid 1 together. But as you'll see here, we've got another magic damage dealing mage. Let's pop open those stats, and would you know it? Instead of 10.6k HP, it's 10.8, almost 10.9. Instead of 46-16 attack, it's 46-33. So Comet's got 17 more. They just barely tweaked his stats. We go over here, same exact attack interval, and then the typical 14 rage regen auto. Let's go back to Boreas now. You know what I'm going to do? Let's queue up his beautiful cinematic. So let me pull up something I made. This is Boreas's attack interval list. So you're going to see how to lower his attack interval from his base, depending on how much additional attack speed you need to build on him. On the right side, you'll see the increment, so that's how much more you need from the previous threshold. So let's say you had him at 1.8 seconds. That means you built at least 120 attack speed additional on top of him. So on top of that 100 base, to get him down to 1.7, you need an additional 30, right? The next incremental level to get that decrease is 30, so you'd have to get him up to 150 additional. You can see this is average. The more I play this game, 2.6 feels like the steady average you always see with typical DPS. This is the same as your Comets, your Sela 2s, lots and lots of heroes, same as Pyros, lots of heroes in this game, right? So basically, he has got potent attacks. As an esotericist, he's got a very expensive ult. The way you're going to be able to ult with him a lot, even if you have lords, right, is for him to attack a lot, to capitalize on his rage regeneration based upon attack stat. So you're going to want him going decently quickly. I really suggest at least 120 additional, and then when you get to later game stuff, you're probably going to want to shoot for, if not the 186, likely the 230 plus. After that, you can see the increments get enormous, but if you can get him to 230 additional, so that'd be a 330 build, you'd have him at 1.5 seconds. That's gonna be perfectly suitable for all the content you can use him in all the way through the end game, as you're gonna see all 3 Gear Aid 21 dungeons. So let's get into the nitty gritty of Boreas's kit, beginning with his talent. Nice and simple for us here, guys, just one line of text. When attacking, there is a 10% chance to inflict freeze. So this is referring to his basic attacks. However, the way his ultimate works, like many heroes in this game, it kind of spruces up all these effects, but his hits will still count as basic attacks. So this will always be been in effect. When he is attacking, there will be a 10% chance to inflict freeze. As you will see very shortly when we break down his awakenings, this can be spruced up, improved in a pretty major way with Awaken level 1. On to the skills, we have got here a basic attack, magic damage, deals 100% magic damage to one enemy. So again, similar to Comet, huge AoE abilities, but you have single target on the basic attack. This can go up to 120% with skill ups. Quite simple. So now to make things a little more fun and a little more complicated, beginning with his ultimate, Frosty Endowment, ooh la la, activates Eternal Ice Haven and increases damage by 225%. Each attack will reduce the trigger interval of the next Frozen Purification by 1 second. This effect lasts for 26 seconds. So Eternal Ice Haven, huge in his kit. We're going to click on that tooltip momentarily. I do want to say Frozen Purification, very important. That's one of his passives we're about to discuss. Then you can see skill ups are amazing for this ability. The damage increase is going to go from 225 up to 250. That is nice, but really you want that extended duration and the lowered cost. So it goes from 26 seconds all the way up to 30 seconds, and you can get his skill cost down from the staggering 1300 to a slightly less staggering 1200. But you know, these esotericists are always expensive when it comes to their ults. So let's talk about Eternal Ice Haven. This is why when a lot of us were looking into Boreas until we playtested him, we thought he'd be good, but we had no idea how good he'd be, that he'd be this good, because of the wording. His whole damage comes from an Eternal Ice Haven, or the vast majority of his SSS tier damage, right? When allies inflict freeze on enemies, and those allies include him as well, deals additional massive damage. What is massive damage? I don't know. We don't know the multipliers, but when you use him, you will see massive is an appropriate word. The damage is monumental. The additional damage is affected by the duration of the freeze inflicted and has a cooldown of 1.5 seconds. So he can trigger this damage every 1.5 seconds. If you run him in a very synergistic comp, a freeze comp, you have freezes going off all the time. It's massive. It's the perfect descriptor. The damage he does, it shocked me. When, you know, I thought he'd be good. You can go back and watch these. I was very confident he'd be a very good hero. I had no idea he could be this good, because I would love to know the multiplier and how they're calculating it. It is incredible what he does. So let's go to the passive now. Chilling Blow. When enemies are inflicted with freeze, they will also receive anti-healing. When attacking enemies inflicted with freeze, deals 35% extra damage. This boost can go all the way up to 55% with skill ups. Guys, this anti-heal, I feel like because there's so much damage going on in this kit and everyone's so hyped about it, rightfully so, it gets kind of skipped over. You no longer need Lasir or Demi or Zealous or Kriya Awaken level 1 for Gear Aid 1. He brings all the anti-heal you could ever need. For what we have in the game right now, he is the best anti-heal hero by far. He saves you a slot on your team. He's wild. On top of that, he brings freeze, right? So you're going to have CC, so it's not like you're missing out too much on the slows. You can still enable your cultists if you're going to run synergistic teams like that in something like Gear Aid 1 or future AoE-based content. This is so incredible. And it's just every time they're frozen, and it's not just him inflicting the freeze. There's no condition on this. Anytime he's there, he's deployed, and an enemy is frozen. So whether he's doing that, or Mari's doing that, or I's doing that, or so on and so on and so on, freeze, 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 baby. Anti-heal, anti-heal, anti-heal. This boy's cracked. And then finally, we touched on it from the ultimate, Frozen Purification. This is on a 20-second cooldown, but with skill ups, it can go down to 16 seconds. When deployed, deals 160% magic damage up to 10 enemies in a wide range and inflicts freeze on them. This effect triggers one time every 20 seconds afterwards. That interval again can go down to 16 seconds, like how often it cycles through. During Eternal Ice Haven, that was the ultimate, the effect triggered by the ultimate. The skill's trigger interval is reduced by an extra 10 seconds. So you're going to get this crazy wide range triggering of this nice damage, again going up to 200% with skill ups. You're going to get that during the ultimate every 6 seconds, otherwise every 16 seconds when you skill this guy up. Almost everyone will max skill this guy, or should. You'd have to be pretty endgame. Honestly, I'm in a position where I might not max skill him yet for a little while, but that's just because I happened to get him when I had already, the content I would use him in, I was already shining in, you know, but he could still seamlessly fit in there, as you were about to see in our Gear Raid breakdowns. He's nuts. We do have to touch on some more strange colored words from Moonton. Wide range. Again, when we read this before proper playtesting had happened, before people got into the physical nitty-gritty of his kit and the playtests, who knew what wide range meant, right? Well, would you consider the entire map a wide range? Because this guy's got Idril range. It takes effect in a totally different way, but this is what probably is turning him. You know, I've been looking through all his numbers. It's so hard to parse where the damage is always coming from. I think this might be the key thing that's turning him from the great hero we thought he would be to the hero that people are using the should he be, you know what I'm saying, kind of word. So he is so strong. All right, those are the skills, guys. I can't wait to test him. Let's just quickly do the awakenings and we'll get into battle. Awaken 1, I teased it before. So during the ultimate, so this only happens during the ultimate, but he's going to have his ultimate up a lot if you're using him with some form of rage regeneration, especially if you have an Esotericist Lord. If you build him with the nice amount of attack speed I suggested, this will come up nice and frequently. During the ultimate, the trigger chance of hero's talent increased by 40%. So the hero's talent, remember, that's basic attacks, which is basically all his attacks, except for, you know, the triggers from the Frozen Purification. Those will have a 10% chance to inflict freeze. Now it's a 50% chance during his ultimate, making just another reason that you're going to really want to max skill the ultimate at least to level 4 to get your 30 seconds, right? So then have a full 30 seconds, a full half a minute to be having a 50% chance to inflict that freeze. Boreas totally works at A0. Totally. I've tested it on other people's accounts. Personally, on my account, I have him at A2, so you'll be seeing that in this video, but I promise he still works. However, this is the ultimate luxury, and it's honestly fantastic. He synergizes so well with other freeze heroes. You'll see him a lot with even Broke here. Mari is a great choice, right? But if he's got the 50% chance going during his ultimate, that's going to cover it. You know, that is really going to cover it, and it is really nice stuff. It's a fantastic. I'd say just getting May 1 is more than enough. I wouldn't Soulstone him because he's going to be fairly common now that we know the rates, but for sure, he's awesome. Here we go, plus 5% attack. This is pretty good. The 5% over the plus 300, it all depends on the base attack. As we saw, he's at 4616, plus 5%. That's quite fair. Just about exactly 300 additional attack to the base. It shakes out the same way. Let's go to Awaken 3. Frozen Purification's damage, plus 50%. So remember, this was the auto passive that you could get down to 16 seconds every 6 seconds during the ultimate. It goes from 200% at max skill, going up 25% from what it was, so that's another 50% to 250%. We'll absolutely take it. Awaken 4, Rage Regen Auto, you know, with an Esotericist, that is a welcome thing. We want those ults happening as much as possible. They can be hard to come by if you have the wrong setup. And then A5, the ultimate duration plus 10 seconds. He's getting that Zealatu treatment. Zealatu gets it at A3, but my God, there's such a big difference between 30 seconds when he's skilled up and then 40 seconds. I mean, I guess it's a 33% difference, but wow, this is massive. I bet you there's some people out here that went crazy on his banner and did get him A5. Like I said, I've got him in A2. The additional 300 attack that's going to come from the plus 5%, you know, it is what it is. The very exciting thing is the A1. Then if you can grab that plus 50%, you know, 25% more damage off of that 200% going all the way up to 250. Very, very nice. Enough of me talking and, you know, telling, not showing. So let's show our build, gear, and artifacts and head into battle. So let's just head over to Gear Aid 1 already. That's where we'll begin. We can just click on Boreas. You see Power Dominance is off. Click on him and I'll show you what we are working with here. It's a pretty good build, but it's not cracked out. I mean, I'm going to have a very good team you'll see featured here, but he's a superstar, so we're at 68.166 BP. I will show you, I have not max skilled him yet, but I did get fairly lucky in the distribution. Like I said, you really want that level 4 to get the increased duration on his ultimate. Frosty Endowment is so strong. I do have him Awaken 1 and Awaken 2, so you can see the Awaken 1, we have the extra 40% chance to get the freezes from his basic attacks. That's during the ultimate, and then here from the talent, and then from Awaken 2, we're getting the plus 5% attack. It's about 300 more attack. It's going to work out really nicely as a comparison because my Comet is also exactly A2. As I showed you, they have almost the same stats, so pretty good. And then talking gear, we did put them both in a Soulbound Arcana set. These stats are not one-to-one. I did my best. Boreas probably has the slightly better gear, and they both are wearing Tear of Twilight. We'll break that down in a second. Boreas is in the promoted one, so Boreas is at promo 2, I believe, yes. Some more discussion on that, but you can keep an eye out for it, especially in this Gear Aid 1, because that's where Boreas is amazing. I remember that's where he's truly like a super-duper star, and we're just going to put Boreas and Comet side by side, literally. I think Boreas is actually a reskin of Comet. They just changed a hand when they're deployed, which hand they hold the staff, but they are pretty darn close. Certainly restatted out version, right? So you can do Soulbound Arcana. If you're unfamiliar with the set, it's a 3-piece set. After the ultimate is cast, damage increased 10% permanently up to 5 times. So in a nice long battle like Gear Aid 1, this is a great choice. Shorter battles, or if you're using him in Arena, you might want to think about other things, but this is really nice because we are going to run a full Esotericist team, because we have a great regen in the form of Laurel, Hollow, and Eloin, we can get a lot of cycling on the ult, so this is a great choice for both Boreas and Comet, actually, even though they both have very expensive ultimates. We also, of course, are using Raiden, Lord from the Esotericist. You can do this strategy I'm about to show you without him, but I want to make a nice, smooth video, and I really wanted you guys to see Boreas at his full strength. So let's go over stats here. You can see here we have attack bonus, some nice sub-stats. We've got an Ancient Piece, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed. Then we have crit damage, some attack bonus, crit rate, attack speed, another good piece, another Ancient. We're full Ancients on the right, baby. Crit damage again, attack bonus, crit rate, attack speed. Do you see a theme here? Then I want to get that crit damage nice and high. I'll show you the full stats in a second. We went for an Annihilating Might set. This is not the craziest piece in the world. It certainly is not, but we've got a healthy 19.5% crit, and then we've got 24% attack. I would love to see some crit damage on here, but, you know, my gear, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There you go. Here's the weapon, a nice juicy gold attack bonus roll. We just hit the lowest end at 26.5%, a very nice 22.5 crit rate, but again, you're not seeing any attack speed on this weapon. I would love to see it. That actually would get us to the interval I discussed where I wanted the 230 additional. So let's show you now. I'm at 199 additional, so I'm 31 away from my ultimate goal. I'll get there quite soon. I do hope so. Keep in mind, though, I am getting 18 speed from my Pantheon, so I'm actually 13 away, and he will be in range of Hollow, who she's wearing a euphoric orb, formerly known as Orb of Euphoria. I'll show that very quickly. So there will be a nice chunk of attack speed coming. You can see all allies in range. He'll certainly be in range, so he will get that 30 additional attack speed every 60 seconds, lasting for 25 seconds. So nearly half on, half off. Pretty solid stuff. That will give him the interval that I was shooting for. Back to Boreas to wrap it up. Let's show the total stats now. If we go here to our little info, you can see 24k HP. The important stuff now, 14.8k attack. Totally works for Gear Raid 1 actually, because of course we're using Dolores. Let's go now. Attack intervals at 1.6. If we could get this up just 13 points higher, or when Hollows kicks in, this will go down to 1.5. Very healthy crit rate, we're crit capped, and extremely healthy 346% crit damage. Our boy gonna be slapping. All right, we got the Tear of Twilight. If you're unfamiliar, let's talk artifacts now. This is, I think, undoubtedly his best in slot. This is the best in slot for most mages. I haven't had the best luck with it, formerly known as the Tear of Starlight, but I do have, you know, I want to keep 2 copies, so I have a base copy that is on Comet, then I have my level 2 promotion copy. We put that on Boreas here. Attack is increased by 24% when deployed. When HP is lower than 80%, that effect is decreased to only 12%. It's basically halved, so it's a very nice option. Another very nice option that I'm going to show you guys right now, if you want like much more of an early mid-game option, or you haven't been lucky to get it, you know, I haven't been that lucky, you can go for the White Tower Trinket over here. When deployed, increases attack by 12%. If there are no adjacent allies, gains an extra attack speed. That's going to be an increase of 20. This improves a lot with promotions. It's obviously very easy, or far easier, I should say, than Mythic artifacts with your Legendary artifacts to get them max promo. I'll put a picture up right now from test server where I do have one max promo. You'll see the attack increase goes all the way up to 18%, so it's only 2% worse than the base level of Tear of Twilight. And then the extra attack speed, if there are no adjacent allies, goes all the way up to 35, right? That's really, really good. If you're using him in like Gear Raid 3 later on, you can do a version where there's no one near him. That could work out really well. Certainly, you could probably do a version of that in Gear Raid 2, depending on your staggering of your tanks. We can also show you that. I will stick with this, but that's another really, really great option. I think these are by far the 2 best things you could use. Skull of Decoration is fine for AoE, but you really just want to boost that attack, especially if you're going to go for a high crit damage build like I am choosing to do here. So that is our Boreas. Let's head into battle now. Reminder, Power of Dominance is off. Obviously, I'm using many other heroes that are not Boreas. I just wanted to show his build in depth because it is his guide. We're going to be using him a ton. We have so much to do. We have this Gear Raid 1, and then we're doing Gear Raid 2, then we're doing Gear Raid 3, all 21s, no Power of Dominance. I will very quickly, after each run, after I show you the stats, very quickly show you the build of all the heroes I use, but I'm not going to be able to talk about it. So I'm just going to flash through it, and then we'll go on to the next Gear Raid. Now you're prepared. Let's head in. Gear Raid 1, baby. So as you can see, we were running a partial cultist team and a full-blown rock and rollin' esotericist team. We actually brought so many esotericists that Eloin couldn't even make it onto the same line to get the Lord bonus from Raiden. Not a problem. Let's get Boreas down, man of the hour. Let's put down Dolores. She's in an invigoration set, so she's going to give this 10% attack buff both to herself and now to Boreas. This will all even out in terms of a Boreas Comet comparison, though, because Comet will get put down, and then Laurel is in an invigoration set, and thanks to the new patch, thank you devs, it's guaranteed that it's going to land on Comet. So as you can see, we place it, and there we have it. Absolutely great. I like to wait till Comet's at about 95%, then we can go. Excellent. Let's go. Lovely. And let's get Hollow down. So, nice start here. You'll see whenever you see these purple crosses, let's wait for it. There we go. That means Boreas is applying anti-healing. You're going to see so much in this battle. This is the piece of content that Boreas is absolutely the greatest in. He's so good at so many things. But Gear Aid 1, there's no hero in the game that can do more than him. Because he's bringing those anti-heals, because he's bringing that appropriately titled massive damage. And then, very slept on, that's going to help this comp run perfectly. He's bringing all his frozen friends and bringing big freezes himself. That makes the whole run so much smoother. You see, here comes I with her ice crystals. Boreas already getting some freezes right out of the gate. It's just excellent stuff. I'll illustrate this a little bit better in about 30 seconds to 2 minutes when the guys come marching down. Let's get Ellen down immediately before I dies. That's great. We can trigger. All right, so actually it wasn't 30 seconds. It's going to happen right now. Normally, I would hold my ults and not use my ults now, and I'd wait for these guys. Like if I was using Virna instead of Boreas, I'd wait for these big guys over here to come down. These are the ones that do the big damage to the wall. However, because we're going to get so many nice freezes from Boreas, especially at Awakening 1, and of course from his friend I, it's going to take these guys frickin' forever to make it down. Look, they're already getting frozen before they started moving, so we don't have to worry as much about them getting to the wall. Even by the time they make it to the wall, they'll be continuously getting frozen, and it won't matter too much. They won't be able to put out too much damage on the wall. We'll be in decent control. We can get Morgan down. She won't be able to do too much damage without Dolores, but you know, a little bit extra DPS never hurt anybody. Let's get Hollow in the mix. Look, they're trying to make it their way down, and they just keep, look, frozen, 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 frozen. Lovely stuff. They're just tickling the wall for now. We're in good control. Guys, if you want a nice rule of thumb, just from my like 1,000 or multiple thousand runs of 120 and 121, having done, you know, on my own account and many viewer takeovers, you can use the health of the wall as a nice barometer. Essentially, if it's over 60% before the last phase, that's when the big guys at the end and the boss come down, and the score just from the sides, you're in pretty good control. If it's over 70 or like 75%, you're in very good control. So let's see how we do here with all our freezes. It's looking pretty nice so far. We can throw this on 2x while we wait for those ults to load up. We are going to need an ult pretty quick. Let's go. Let's trigger. Let's go. So you can see we're at about 80, 85% right now, I think. We're doing pretty good. And now they melt away. Frozen, frozen, frozen. The team is cooking, baby. Look at all these freezes. My God, look at that massive damage. I will say, we'll see at the end, but I really envision Boreas especially will outperform Comet here, because these guys are having trouble making into Comet's range with how much freeze I and Boreas are putting out. So let's hold now. And look at that, we're about exactly 80%, maybe slightly less, 75 to 80%. We're in very nice control here. We are going to wait. Let's let these guys march down just a bit. This is when it gets juicy. Let's wait, let's wait. Once these guys start hitting hollow, it's a good indicator for me. So let's trigger, 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 trigger. And now what we're going to do, as soon as Laurel's ult runs out, this is the time to pick up Laurel. You might have been wondering why I kept Laurel down. Also, I will say, this is the time to pick up Morgan. Get ready with your Cerberus. We're going to wait slightly. Oh no, the middle tile's open. We want this middle tile just so we can get some nice damage all around on everyone once he dies. And yes, as soon as Laurel's ult runs out here, we're going to pick her up. Absolutely great. So we're going to be just about ready right after. Cerberus dies. Don't worry, guys. That's what was supposed to happen. Let's get some healing down here for Boreas. Get some damage, and look at that, we're already at 37 kills. We can 2x it here. Let's wait, let's wait. Almost there. We can already trigger Comet. Boreas will be ready pretty soon, especially once we get Hollow going. As long as there he is, he's ready right away. Insta-ult, basically, with all the rage regen we're getting, and then that pickup from the talent of Laurel. Let's get some nice damage. Come on, guys. The only way the run can go wrong, they're not going to be able to do enough damage to the wall unless we start dying. So we need, sometimes Dolores dies, sometimes Boreas dies. We need that to not happen. That's the goal, for that to not occur. All right, let's wait, let's wait. We're looking quite good now, though. We're in pretty good control. Let's just try to take care of these fools. Really, we can throw this on 2x. We really just need Laurel back. We want to get that damage boost, and then we want to get one more pickup to get another ult boost, another rage boost. Let's trigger here. Come on, Laurel. We'll 1x it again. We can actually get Morgan down. Let's wait. All right, here comes Laurel. I'm going to wait till Boreas is close to about mid-90s. Yes, this is perfect. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We can already right away. Now that we got the triggers, we're taking advantage of the ability from Laurel that if you trigger in range, you can see here, I might have done it slightly earlier with Comet. There you go, plus 20% damage. Let's pick up Laurel now. So we should be good to go for another, and it's looking pretty strong. Pretty strong. Melting away, we're in the 50s now. You can see 121 is a very technical fight. I think this is by far the hardest gear raid fight. It doesn't matter how meta a team you have like this. You still need to get all your timings right and be in control. We are going to frickin' crank out that W now. Absolutely lovely. He can wail on the wall all he wants. You're not going to be able to cut it, big boy. Take a little Cerberus while you're at it. And we got this thing. So there you have it, guys. I'm quite excited. You can let me know predictions in the comments of what you think the damage will be. I will say Boreas has a big benefit because he always doing that big AoE all over the battlefield. And additionally, it's a lot of these guys, especially the early mobs, had trouble even making it into range of Comet because I and Boreas did such a nice job. We can actually pick up Morgan, speed it up this way. So once we get an ult from Boreas, actually we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Let's just get that 20% damage boost. And there is the W. So if you're just joining back now because you skipped ahead, I do not blame you. That is our W on 121. So quite a nice team, quite a meta team, but I mean, it's a very technical thing, and Boreas makes it a lot smoother. If we were doing the same comp, obviously I did do it with Virna. Granted, I didn't use as many. I didn't use Raiden. I didn't have A5 Hollow, but that took me many, many, many more attempts than this. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get into those statistics before we head to Gear Raid 2. And you can see Comet still is an absolute star. So people thinking that Comet now just like sits on the bench because Boreas is here, not even close to true. However, that's some big boy stuff. We used Cerberus very sparingly. I just used him more as like a safety valve. So you can see these guys basically solo DPS the whole fight. A little contribution from the others. Like I said, I will very, very quickly show you the gear, and we're going to head right into Gear A2. But that's our boy Boreas doing what he does best, absolutely owning 121. So best way to do this, actually, let's go in here. Let's just show you the team. By the way, of course, Power of Dominance was off. Let's go. We'll just start with our Esotericists. We can just sort by that. And I'm just going to click through. I won't even explain it. And then I'll just show you the max stats. So here you go. Now we've got Eloin. We ran an Invig set. Anyone can just pause. This is just for make sure I did. We all saw Boreas already. You can see for I went for some damage, but mostly she was there just for incredibly high attack speed. We went Broken Set. We went Annihilating Might. We also went for some amount of HP so she wouldn't die. There you go. We don't want I to die. Oh, of course, I will also show you the artifacts. Euphoric Orb, you saw before, we got a base tier of Twilight. Over here, we got a Tidal Ring. I found the extra slows. Who doesn't want to slow him down just a little bit more? I finally found a use for this thing. Finally, we've got Laurel. Invig sets, all that matters, just some semblance of tankiness, some attack speed to keep the ult coming up. There you have it. Of course, you are going to go with the Nightmare Samsara, and then Raiden wearing absolutely nothing. He does not get deployed. On to our cultists, and then we'll wrap up with Dolores. You can see with our cultists here, we have Cerberus. He's in just a very high attack, very high crit damage build. Attack speed doesn't matter. Born to Die doesn't matter too much, as you can see here. We went for a Fracture set and Annihilating Might, but nearly crit cap, 271, and quite high attack. He, again, was just like our safety valve. For Morgan now, she is wearing a Desecrating Skull. I only have 2 Tier of Twilight that I've built out. If we go here to gear, we went Ageless Wrath, we went Annihilating Might. Again, she didn't do very much damage at all. She's less than I. But yeah, a little extra DPS never hurt anybody. There you have it. Let's go now to Hollow. Invig set, this is more just to buff her, and because this is what I run on her anyway. High attack speed is amazing for Hollow, especially if you have her Awaken 1 or higher, but just in general, she more than other healers wants that, so you can get the Rage. There's Invig, there is Warlord. Let's look at some statistics. I showed you the Euphoric Orb, that's just what we should call it. The Euphoric Orb earlier, there you go. And then finally, the only hero remaining is going to be the lovely Dolores. She's an Invig as well. I did go a tankier Invig than I normally run, like in Guild Boss or something, so her attack was slightly lower, as you're about to see. Artifact has got to be that Keen Wisdom. And yeah, you'll see. So I think if you're over 12k attack, that's what to shoot for almost all content with Dolores. But normally I've got her at about 12, 8 to 13. But I took her good Invig set off because I wanted to get enough HP. We do not want her dying. All right, on to Gear Raid 221. Alrighty, guys, onward and upward to Gear Raid 221, back for the Boreas show. Let's hop into the battle, and you'll see a pretty unique team for me, very little tankage, and that's because we don't really need it, because Boreas is just that gosh darn strong. Speaking of the guy, let me click on him and show you his gear. I did change his gear. If you remember before, he was in a Soulbound Arcana set. That is going to be his best gear set, but that needs a long battle where he's triggering his ult multiple times. He will have multiple ult triggers here, However, because we're using Volca, we have our A1 Volca who gives minus 25% revival times to all her allies. We're going to be putting our heroes down, picking them up, cycling with that kind of strategy. If you've not seen those techniques or not seen any of my Gear Raid 2 content, I've put more hours into Gear Raid 2 the past half year of my life than I would care to admit. I've got tons of it out there. You can check it out. But essentially, we're taking advantage of ignoring the big AoE shrieks that the primitive golem does by picking them up, and Volca enables that. However, when we pick our heroes up, everything resets, so it's not like we get to benefit from the damage increase we got from the previous triggers of ultimates with the Soulbound Arcana set. We're back to square one. So each trigger of the ult only gives 10% increased damage. It does not stack because those stacks go away when we pick Boreas up. That's why we went for the baby version of Soulbound Arcana, the Wisdom set. After using the ultimate skills, increases damage by 35% for 10 seconds. So not nearly as good. It is not permanent. It's only 10 seconds. It's only 35% as opposed to the maximum 50. However, for this kind of battle, it's actually much better. Much focused on burst and then not building stacks of continuous ults. I would also say I wanted to discuss this now, not in the previous gearing section. The other great set for him would probably be Ageless Wrath. Some people might want to use Infernal Roar. However, during his ultimate, his attacks still do count as basic attacks, but the big damage he gets is not coming from his basic attacks. It's coming from what's going on with Eternal Ice Haven and, of course, Frozen Purification. So much better to just work on a general damage boost, not a basic attack damage boost. So I'd say for longer form battles where he's staying out on the battlefield, you're going to want to go Soulbound Arcana, and then I would suggest either Ageless Wrath or the Wisdom. It depends on the specific content. So here we are now. We've got our Boreas. Let's look at the new gear. You can see some attack bonus, some crit damage, two nice crit damage ancients over here, and then we threw on some Warlord to make sure we had decent speed. Nice, beautiful. I have very few gold rolls on my account. I'll take that crit damage roll. Let's show you the max stats. 15.2k attack. We have a lovely 1.5 second attack interval. It could be faster, but this is much more burst oriented. Like I said, we are crit capped, a bit too far for my liking, but a healthy. I love getting over 300,000 crit damage. We got to 318%. That's really good. I said 300,000. I meant 300%. Pretty good stuff. There we have it. He's in the same tier of Twilight as I did with the Gear Raid 121 demonstration. I'll show the other hero builds at the very end very quickly. Then we'll head right into 321. But for now, it's 221 time. This is going to be a fairly unique comp. You can see we're not really bringing any tanks, just Dagna as a random rare Lord. She's only 3 stars. She's there just for her Lord buff. We don't even need her, but we needed to fill a spot. And then, of course, we have Baron. Baron's not really there to tank as much as he is there for his unyielding and essentially his unkillable state that he enters for tanking those speedy, formerly known as the roly-polioles, those speedy rock tree men. I will talk you through everything I do as always, but the main focus is going to be having a smooth run and showing off just how frickin' strong Boreas is. If you do want a breakdown of this new comp, let me know. I'm very happy with it. Shout out to Pink Jesus for giving me the idea that he could do this without tankage. It is wild. So let's get into it and let's see what it's all about. So right from the get, we're going to get Narvi down as fast as possible, a nice little budget cost generator. You can do these stages without cost generation, but I do not suggest it. It's a huge headache, much smoother and much calmer this way. It's a stressful enough battle Gear Raid 2 as it is. You can see he's already getting his freezes out. The second Narvi is ready, you can trigger, and now we can put Mari down. So Mari's here mostly just to get some slows, give Boreas time to just wail on these guys, and also the freezes now and also later in the battle are going to be quite helpful. So there we go. Let's get ready now. Let's trigger and let's trigger. These guys are toast. Let's get ready to pick them up as soon as possible so we're ready for phase 1. I like to think of this as the initial phase. Maybe that's a weird way to think about it. And then he shrieks. You're about to see him do the shriek, the big AoE, the yell he does. Then begins phase 1. Then he's the next shriek. That's phase 2. And then the final shriek, that's the end of the fight. That's phase 3. Maybe it's bizarre. That's how it makes sense in my head. Maybe that will help it click for some of you. Ooh, Mari did not come up. It doesn't matter. We don't need her for phase 1. We can trigger Narvi there. Let's wait. And we are good to go. Let's pick her up. There we go. We're in like the mid-high 70s. Or about the mid-70s. That's what we want to see. We can throw this thing on 2x. Yeah, about high 70s when he actually does the shriek. So now is the beginning of phase 1. I'll walk you through now how to do your Decimus placements. I know many people have asked me. This is a big headache. So essentially he goes up now, the primitive golem, the bad guy. He's going to go for his big smash. You're going to see a flash of light. Here it comes. Now, once it disappears, now you can let go and drop your Decimus. That's going to enable perfect timing for his Defiance passive to kick in. He can survive both collisions from these running stone tree men, or whatever you're supposed to call them. and then you're kind of off to the races. This is the hard part, though. When the guy gets really close, you can click on, go for that super slow-mo. He throws his head back. When you see the numbers, that's when you know you can pick him up. You can immediately put down your vortex, and now get ready with your like main tank. So what we'll use here, we're going to go for Dagna. There she goes, drop her right on them so they die right away. She is getting a North Lord buff. I mean, she's actually giving it to herself, which gives her an instant shield, so she can actually tank it, and you can save a little cost that way. Let's pick her up there. Let's get our girl Dolores down. Let's get our girl Laurel down, and let's wait for Boreas. Here he comes, absolutely perfect, and we can already pick up Laurel, and we can trigger. Let's wait till the freezes end. All right, trigger and trigger. So now we're good. We don't need to put down any tanks or anything. We can keep the lanes open because, as you're going to see, Boreas is crazy strong all on his own, but with Dolores, I mean, you saw he handled the first thing without Dolores, but with Dolores, it's a whole nother level. I mean, look at this damage. Massive indeed. Now it's just a waiting game for these guys to come down. We can already pick up Vortex since the rock throwers have died. Here comes one hit and another. Pick up Dolores, pick up Boreas. The faster you pick them up, the quicker you can put them back down for the next phase, so that's what I suggest you do. Throw this on 2x. As soon as he starts the animation of the Shriek, you can already put down Baron and Decimus. It's that easy. The timing here for the put downs, as long as it's after the Shriek, it's good. It's the specific timing issue here comes with the pick-ups. Let's throw it on 1x here. Same story. As this guy gets close, we can click on for that super slow-mo. He makes contact with Decimus. We wait for him to throw his head back, and we see the numbers. There they go. Take a beat before you pick up Baron. Otherwise, these guys will be walking down at the same time. Pick up Baron and get ready with your Narvi. The Narvi drop is more specific than the Dagna ones. You want to make sure that these guys are basically on top of each other, so she hits them both at the same time. If you didn't do it that way, then she might hit the first one first, then she dies, that one dies, and the other one just waltzes through. It's not as important with Dagna, because like I said, she's not going to die since she gets the North Lord shield, that North Throne thing. Fantastic. We can put down and immediately get our Vortex placed. We can already get our Laurel, and now we just wait for Boreas, and we wait for Dolores. So let's wait. Lovely, and here's Boreas. Lovely. We can pick up here. We can put down Mari, and we can trigger. As you can see, let's get Dolores. As you can see, we do not need to place any tanks right now. The damage is just that lethal. It's just that twisted. Boreas is a bad man. I don't know how else to say it, folks. I mean, look at what is this? What is going on? Do you know how big of a headache this used to be for so many people, and now it's just trivialized by Boreas? I was thinking, maybe Comet's still better at G-Raid 2 at least. Jeez Louise. Time for the home stretch. Here comes the big Shriek. We can throw it on 2x. You do have to be a bit more diligent this time. You also be very clean with your pickups and your put down. So now with Decimus, they're going to already start the Earth Shake. So you're going to want to put him down right before this guy swings his arm and is entering this third, the third square from the front, like whatever Decimus is parallel to. Sorry, I'm just focusing. And this time we're going to try to pick them both up together. So the timing is tight, but we need to have Baron back to tank for the boss. So let's get ready. We can click, throws the head back. We see the numbers. All right, pick up. We'll do Narvi first on the left. That's what I like to do, like I said, since Dagna is the harder one. Let's go. Here's Dagna right on time. Just got it. Let's pick her up. All right, let's get ready. So you see, we have all this time we're waiting on Baron, so we really need to get this stalled out. So let's place Decimus here. I like to play some 2 tiles up from the portal. Takes hit number 1. Let's wait for him to take hit number 2. And then we can pick up. So you want to just about wait for him to die. If he dies, actually, it's okay. Let's slam here. We really want to maximize the time that Baron is given to revive. Once he stops turning red, we can start placing down like our stall tank strategy. So let's wait. All right, there. We can get Mari down immediately. Oh, excuse me. I can place Mari right here is best. We can place Volca here. She is in like no gear, so she can barely even take a hit. She dies instantaneously. That's not a problem because we should have Decimus in just 1 second. It's going to be very slow thanks to Mari. Let's get Boreas down right there. Let's get you down right here. Okay, now we're waiting game. Here we come. Let's place him. Let's stall this thing out. We're almost there with Baron, so he's going to die just in time, or he's going to live just long enough, I should say, for Baron to come back to life. Let's wait. Let's pick you up. Let's get Baron down. Excellent. Here we go. Let's pick up. Let's go. Let's trigger. with Boreas. Let's trigger with Dolores. Let's get a nice freeze to Mari so we can get a little Eternal Ice Haven action. And we're cooking, baby. We are absolutely cooking. No power dominance. Boreas is just putting the entire whole gosh darn team on his back. Just him and one other 100% free legendary. He obviously isn't, but Volca certainly is. We can put Volca here because why not? Let's get one more freeze and we're off to the races. I mean, I was telling myself maybe Comet would still be better than him at this, and I mean, Boreas, he's on another level. He really is on another level. He's something else. Yeah, we can trigger Volca there. And there you go, 221. It's really the Boreas show. No tanks really necessary. Substitutes for Baron include anyone with any form of unyielding or unkillable. So like Brokir would be good. Valeria can work. Of course, Regulus is a great option. And there you have it, 221. Boreas, an absolute superstar. Only one stage 21 remains. Let's take a peek at those stats. Look at that, a cool 15.393 million. Like I said, if you like this strategy, it is a bit more technical than some of the other ones, but it is super free to play friendly, assuming you have Boreas. Just let me know and I'll make an entire guide breaking down every second of it. But for now, let's show these builds really quickly and let's get into 321. Let's go to complete again and we can just show off the heroes. Pretty fun that we use 3 rare heroes. I mean, some of the better rare heroes, but 3 rare heroes nonetheless. Let's start off with these 3 Northerners. So we got Dagna. She's in some random quick equip gear. It really doesn't matter. Everything is on the back of her Lord skill that she's getting a shield. She can take a hit. There you go. For artifact, this is a great, totally free epic artifact that you get. She gets an extra shield, so it's a little bit of a just in case. But yeah, the gear really doesn't matter. I'll pop the stats in case people are dying to know. But this would work if she was completely in the nude. It's all in the back of the shields. So that's Dagna. Let's go to Mari. Super speed build. It's really just for the slows. The extra freezes at the end help with a ton of damage, but you can see very high speed, 575, a 0.9 second interval, and tons of rage regen, 97.5. That's just kind of what we went for here in terms of artifact. We went with the beautiful Nightmare Samsara. On to Vortex. He's wearing an Invig set, not even best in slot, right? This is the set he wears for other gear, other content on my account, but there was no one in his range. He's there literally just to draw aggro, get hit by rocks, and heal himself up. I'll just click through the gear ever so quickly. There you go. Let's show you the stats. So 41k, 1.6 second interval with 406 attack speed, 111 heal effect, and of course he is wearing that, what did I call it? The euphoric orb, right? Let's just go down the line now. Laurel's in the exact same gear you saw her in before. She's also wearing a Nightmare Samsara. Let's go to Baron. I believe I just quick equipped here as well. Looks like he's in like a Mana Spring set. It really doesn't matter. He's there just on the back of his unyielding ability. It's nice if you skill this out. You need at least 6 seconds for it to work. I'd say you need 7 seconds for it to feel comfortable, and you need 8 seconds to feel totally comfy. There you go. I'll click through really quickly. Again, as long as he has any form of survivability that he doesn't die from one hit, he's okay. So you can see coming towards 100k HP, really doesn't need to be that. 5100 defense, not very high. That's Baron. Of course, Decimus does not matter. I do suggest you put him in a Rapidity set to keep that cost nice and low. I did the same artifact, the Metal Fortitude, just like with Dagna. Other stuff doesn't matter. I go for lots of flat HP when I can, just so he can take a hit. Usually, especially, it's really for other content or lower level stuff. For this, he dies in one hit. It doesn't matter, but 21k HP, 1500 defense. I believe he's only at 4 stars promotion, so there you go, 4 stars in general. Volca, I quick equipped. I don't even know what she's wearing. You can see, oh, you know what I did? I just moved over an attack speed build for her. So you could go way tankier, and that would make it smoother at the end there. I actually suggest that's what you do. But by going for attack speed, I was hoping to land the debuffs from her ultimate faster. Here you go, 43.9 HP, 15k attack. Some nice attack speed. We cut the interval in half to 1.2 seconds, 100% crit, some nice crit damage. She's got the 12-second rage regen. I hate that it's only 12 seconds, 12 rage regen, so that's 12 per second. Watchguard Ambition, the extra hits help her build more rage. She's really there just to get debuffs at the end. Dolores is in back to her normal gear, not from what she was in that time. This is not the absolute best Dolores gear, but this is what I run her in Guild Boss, so you can see 12.4. No rage regen in Guild Boss with Hollow. That times out fine anyway. It's not like it can double up currently. And then she's still in the Keen Wisdom. You know Boreas' gear from the beginning. And finally, Narvi. What matters here is just getting her in a Mana Spring set, getting some rage regen, and getting some attack speed. It doesn't have to be this high, but it is great to get 2 ults off here so you have enough cost to feel comfy. Those are the heroes, guys. 1 gear raid remains. I think you're probably all convinced at how cracked out Boreas is by now, but let's really find out and do the final gear raid, the one that makes the least sense for him, but he's still so amazing. Gear raid 321. And finally, Gear Raid 321. Let's get right into it. This is going to be the comp. I'll show you all the hero builds at the end. We will do Boreas right now. He's back in a Soulbound Arcana. Not ideal here, but it does have nice stats. We'll get 3 triggers off of his ultimate, so a permanent 30% increase by the end, which we will need. It's not actually the exact same set you saw him wearing before. It's a combination of what him and Comet were wearing. I'll show you the pieces really quickly. We went heavier into attack bonus, only 1 crit damage piece here. Here we got a little bit each, not a great piece, and then another very good ancient over here. Total stats, we're over 17k attack now. We need that because he doesn't have an inspiration hero like Dolores to buff him. If we go down, nice and speedy, 415, so we're at a 1.4 second interval. That's even 0.1 second lower than I said would be like the typical thing I would aim for. Healthy crit damage, not crazy. We're capped at crit rate, but we're not at 300%. We're at 273.5. Pretty solid. It helps that we are going to bring Raiden, as I'll show you in 1 second. Here's a Tear of Twilight. Again, Raiden isn't geared, but from his Lord skill, this will be nice, getting a slightly reduced cost to his ultimate. My Boreas obviously is not level 5 on his ultimate, as you saw, so that'll help here. We didn't need it for Gear Raid 2, but here it will help. So let's get into it. Let's do some Gear Raid 321. Boreas is going to be handling the left side all by himself. Alrighty, last Gear Raid of the video. Final showcase of Boreas. I'll obviously talk you through it like I have for 121 and 221. We will get Idril down right there, back row. We can place Dolores here. She's got an Invigoration set, so you can see that's going to go on Idril. Throw us on 2x while we wait for Silas. I know this has been a very long video, guys, but I wanted to be exceedingly thorough showing how amazing, truly amazing Boreas is. I will give you my conclusions after this on where I rate him in the game. I'm going to give you 2 different rankings. They're going to be high, so definitely stick around for that, especially if you made it this far already. All right, so we got Silas down. We're going to hold the ults here to take full advantage of Laurel's passive. So as soon as I place her, let's throw this on 1x. We can trigger Silas. Let's trigger him. Great. You'll see there goes the symbol here. That's because he's getting the damage boost from Laurel's passive. We're going to wait and keep her down for Idril as well to make sure Idril gets that boost as well. There are those swords. Now we can pick up Laurel, and you see she's got the Invig set, and now she has the damage boost as well. As soon as Autumn is ready, I'm going to trigger her, so we get the boost from Idril's passive and some big damage. Look at that, 182. Beautiful. And it's time to put down the big boy. I will say this is going to kind of turn into a mini Silas showcase. Boreas is going to do just a fantastic job melting the mobs on the left. Silas over here in the middle is going to do a crazy job of turning this boss lady into absolute pudding. So here we go. Let's wait. I'm going to hold the ult of Dolores. She actually got the bad roll here, so it doesn't really matter, but I will hold her ult as if we did get a bad roll. That just leads to a consistent run. That's a strategy I like to use. So let's wait. You can see Autumn was just able to take 1 hit. Boreas can take just 1 hit, and when I put Laurel down later, she's going to be able to take just 1 hit. Pretty important for this strategy that they have some semblance of taking us to them. All right, as soon as Boreas is ready, we can trigger him. So you see, Dolores will be ready early, but I will hold so I can sync it up with the other guys. We'll hold that over there. Let's get Laurel down as soon as possible so the next hit goes to her. The boss always targets the last placed unit. If they targeted Boreas again, we would be toast. And now we can already place Lunaria down to buff Boreas and make sure that the next hit is not going to kill Laurel. We're not going to pick up Laurel yet, though. Or I guess once we picked up Laurel, it wouldn't kill Boreas. We're not going to pick her up yet, though, because we want to get the same benefit of the boost. So let's go like this. Once we see those little arrows, I keep saying swords, we're good to go. As soon as this guy dies, we can place Brienne. We're going to need her for some burst. Let me trigger Autumn. All right, let's wait. As soon as he guys, there he goes. He's a dunzo. We can get Brienne. Let's throw this thing on 2x, and here the melt job begins. You can see Silas absolutely crushing it like it's nothing. He is a freak, man. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. He's just crazy. All right, we're looking pretty darn good. You can see Boreas. It's not like he's completely dominating the left side, but boy, it's working, isn't it? It really is. So that takes care of that. Boreas and Idril cleaning up. And now we wait for the next round. As soon as Brienne is ready, we will trigger her. So let's put this back on 1x, actually. And this should be just enough for us to take care of business. Let's get Laurel down. Let's immediately pick Laurel up. Let's trigger Idril. Let's pick all that stuff up. Here comes Dolores with a nice trigger. That should give us just the burst we need. So clutch. It's worked out like that every time when I practiced it. It's too cool. I love it. Let's wait. We're going to hold Autumn till this guy comes out so we can melt him away. Lovely. And as soon as that guy dies, we can place Silas down. Now we can trigger Boreas. And these guys will take care of the left. Silas has got the right. And we're looking pretty good. We can put Brienne here just in case occasionally one person can squeak by. So we might as well be ready for that. I'm going to put Laurel down. I'm going to pick her up. We're going to get ready. The second Silas is ready to go. We're going to trigger him. And it's looking pretty good, huh? And Boreas just freezing and popping, freezing and popping. He's a freak, man. I'm gonna freak Reyes or something. Let me know if you can think of a good nickname for him. I haven't played many games where there are heroes like him. Silas does this like it's absolutely nothing. Now we trigger over here, looking really, really good. And like I said, Brienne's all loaded up in case somehow a couple of these guys survive. See, a couple of them are gonna survive, but it's really no problem. That's what Brienne's are for. You see what I did there? That's what Brienne's are for. All right. Anyway, we did it. Go Boreas. That's amazing. Obviously, I had pretty good gear. If I had better gear, it would have been a complete melt job. But hey, it worked. He can completely fulfill 3 totally endgame gear raid roles. Boreas truly is something else. Look at those. Let's look at those stats. Silas on melt duty. Then we've got Idril cleaning up the whole map. And then we've got Boreas, who's the closest thing we have to Idril in the whole game, right? Just hitting people anywhere on the map, or at least in a very wide range on the map with those crazy, crazy frost purification explosions. Let's take a very quick peek at the other heroes we use. So we'll just go right down the line. Lunaria, she's in an inspo set. As you can see here, I was just going for any semblance of tankiness. I mean, it's not the best gear in the world. I knew I needed about, 25k plus HP. That's what we got. A little attack speed never hurt anyone. It doesn't matter. I don't even know what artifact she's wearing. All right, Broken Nightmare. She's there literally for the Invig buff upon Boreas. Invig's an amazing set. Do not sleep on Gear Raid 2, people. Silas, he's in very good gear, not shocking gear. 2 Ancients. I'm actually running him in a crit rate Bangle. That's just because I love Silas in a crit damage build so much. Because he's ignoring defense, he doesn't need very high attack, and Ageless Wrath is a great way to get there. I'll click through. You see we're going triple crit damage over there. He's fully crit capped with a healthy 409% crit damage. Attack is fine. It's over 10k. He really doesn't need much. Even for Gear Aid 321, if you can get a nice build on him, even like 9k would be fine. Super fine. As you can see here, he is wearing a Spirit Siphon. Not max promo, but a well-built one. Let's move right along to Brienne. Brienne's fine. I put her in a Fracture set just because I needed something with super high attack. So you can see some nice rolls here. 1 Ancient piece. And then, we're looking for tons of attack, flat attack, a nice attack bonus roll. She's crit capped. Decent attack speed, doesn't matter too much, but I needed her attack over 11k. When I did it with less, it did not work. That's part of the reason why this run took me so many filming takes. Here's our attack interval at 1.3, and 271 crit damage is solid. I would say you need at least 250% crit damage, and if you're going to be at 250, even more attack than this, but you can shoot for like that 250 to 275, and then that 11k to 11.5k attack. That should do it. Artifact, I just threw it in Idril's Gaze. We can go to Idril right now. This is not my max at 1. My max at 1 is on Idril. Idril's A5. Idril's Gaze was made for her, obviously. Check out the name. You can see she's just literally wearing the gear that normally is on my Zeala 2 for Guild Boss. So it's an Infernal Roar set, some attack bonus, some attack speed, some attack bonus, and then looking for big crit damage rolls over here. Fortunately, I don't have a single piece of weapon on my account with crit damage. It's not the best build in the world, quite frankly, at 272% crit damage. Would be really great to see her way in the 300s and then actually have less attack. She only needs like just over 10k attack with Dolores. But, it is what it is. I don't have the best Infernal Roar. She's crit capped. It worked. Thank you, Silas, for melting the boss, so Idril could focus elsewhere. Almost done here, guys, and then we'll get to the big conclusions. On to Autumn. Autumn is in like just a Mana Spring set that had enough stuff to make her tanky, then tanky gear over here. Really nothing matters with Autumn except the fact that she has some amount of speed, some amount of rage regen, and I like using her in a Tumultuous Horn so I can trigger as soon as I want when I want to time out that ult to boost Idril's passive, get that extra burst. Raiden, same build as before, nothing. He doesn't get deployed. Laurel, same build you saw before as well. For 221. Boreas, we did that at the beginning. And then, of course, Volca, identical build as well. You see, I even took a piece off of her this time. It doesn't matter. She doesn't touch the floor. And finally, Dolores, the same build as before. Let's get into my conclusions. I want to wrap this up with my final thoughts on Boreas, guys. This hero is about as good as we have in the game. I want to give him 2 separate rankings. In terms of progression and reaching the endgame, you will not find a single better hero. He is the best hero in the game, and I'm saying that, I think, with some form of authority, having played, I don't know how much of this game, having made, I don't know how many thousands of hours of content. take my word for it or don't, ask your friends, anyone that's tried him. When it comes to progression and reaching the end game, he is unmatched. You just saw it. It's all about getting good gear, reaching the end of the game, and he does the role of 3 different heroes. Sometimes when it comes to the anti-heal and the freezes on top of the damage in Gear Raid 1, for example, he's doing the role of like 3 heroes. He is, like I said, the master. He's a jack of all trades and the master of nearly all trades. He is cracked out. The reason I say nearly all trades and not all trades is for the second ranking. I believe I would rank him the number 3 hero inside the entire game for endgame, like so for where I am now. I'll say it. It's sad to say because I love my Comet. I like my Virna a lot. He's just better. He's the best AoE mage in the game. Quite frankly, as you can see, it's not really close. I didn't even show you him in Arena. I didn't show you him in Void Rift Nightmare. If you want to see that, let me know. He absolutely destroys there. He is good in all content. He's so good. I would rank him number 3 though. Number 1 is Sylas, as you just saw a little teaser spotlight at the end. When it comes to just destroying and trivializing endgame content, there is no one like Sylas. Sylas is daddy. He is. Daddy Sylas. There's no other way to put it. Everything's a melt job with Sylas. And then number 2 has to be Ardia, who's not wearing gear right now because a lot of it went on to Boreas. But Ardia is able to do things in the end game, particularly in Codex, in Conqueror there, and other things that are probably going to come. She is the easiest hero to build ever, but if you put her in amazing gear, especially amazing Soulbound Arcana, the numbers you see out of her and the consistency of those numbers and the ease of which you can reach those numbers. I mean, Ardia is number 2, but number 3, going into this testing, I had him at number 5 in my revised list. He's number 3 now because Boreas, like I said, he's a Swiss Army knife, but every knife that comes out of that Swiss Army knife is sharper and shinier and more brilliant, a frosty diamond than the previous. I mean, he is so good. I know this was a tremendously long video, but I do think it was packed with some good content. I really hope you enjoyed what you saw and you really enjoy Boreas. Thank you so much. This took me about 6 hours to make, not even counting editing. It was 4.5 hours straight of filming. So if I had your patience the whole time, that means so much to me. I do it because I love the game and I love making content for you guys. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, like it, get in the comments, subscribe, share it with your mother, tell her about Boreas, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.